Carmody Medical provides solutions for your everyday needs. Hot and cold compression wraps provide therapeutic compression for the shoulder, hip, and knee. The therapy wraps are constructed of an insulated outer fabric and a ventilated cotton pocket to protect the body. Elastic belts allow mobility and deliver a gentle, adjustable compression. The reusable therapy packs can be removed from the pouch and placed into the freezer. Contact Jim for more information.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Hey, New Mexico, come check out the newly remodeled guest rooms at the new Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center, featuring 309 rooms, 30,000 square feet of meeting space. New Mexico's only indoor water park featuring the Wave Runner. 2,200 square foot fitness center with hydro massage chairs. Also enjoy breakfast at our new Manzanita Grill and watch your favorite team play at Altitude Sports Bar and Grill. It's all at Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center.
Welcome to Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. Leroy Lucero along with real Michael Carlisle as opposed to the fake Michael Carlisle, and a guy that's tempting fate.
Is there a fake Michael Carlisle? Because I don't know, because I would follow.
I'm just saying.
I would follow that Twitter feed. I am tempting fate.
And the man that's tempting fate, because everyone that comes from UNM that sits in this chair usually ends up getting the axe within a few months, it seems like. Frank Mercogliano, UNM SID, we haven't had him on in a while.
It's now extended to the Journal because you had Mark Smith on too, but I guess that was
after. But that was
after. Okay.
We'll take credit for that. Okay. What the heck? We had him on before. So
there you go.
Yeah, so I figured, I don't know what prompted you to come in, that I asked you, or you decided to go ahead and tempt fate, or did you just want to dispel everything that Mark Smith had to say last week?
No. Nah. We'll just answer like that. No, you asked, and I hadn't been here in a little bit, and I think it's a good time to just maybe catch up, talk about the year. We're having a couple fun basketball seasons. I know the wins aren't quite there for the men's team, but man, they're a fun team to watch. If you've got a men's basketball game, that's a fun team to watch. And then the women's team is that's as fun a women's team as I've seen a lot of women's basketball in 26 years college athletics, and they are a lot of fun to watch. They're up and down, and if you watch our women's team, they're kind of like our men's team this year is kind of like what our women's team was last year. So I think when you watch our women's team this year, that's kind of what our men's team is going to morph into next year. So get in on that ground floor.
So Michael and I have been talking since the.
It is a talk show.
Yeah.
I would like if you guys were just miming.
It helps.
It'd be a problem if you were miming things. Hey, Mike.
Since the calendar flipped,
we tried signing a little bit.
2017 was a little rough, and for the University of New Mexico as far as the athletic department. not just on the field and the court, but off the field and in the office room. You were in
Technically
the back.
off the field and in the court.
Okay, yeah, hey, bada bing, there we go. Yeah, give him the rim shot there.
Thank you. Tip your waitresses.
What was it like being in the background there?
It wasn't the easiest of calendar years. I think most fans, I don't think it's a big shock. The fun thing is if you're around, everybody's fine. Everyone's the morale. I always heard that the morale is terrible. There were people. There's like little pockets of people that, the morale's terrible. But they tend to, when these things kind of happen and you have a bad year like that, they tend to go and they just find another job or they just want to change or something. And the people that are pretty positive, I'm a very positive person. And you know what? I'm still here. It's a lot of fun. I wake up every day.
So as long as you're still here, everything's okay? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe it's me, and there was a story. So I got my 25-year award, and they did like a little profile, and the person that wrote the profile on it focused on the fact that when I was born, I was supposed to die. That was like the thing. When I was born, I was shoved in an incubator. They told my parents I wasn't going to make it, and here I am. And so I try and live every day, and I try not to dwell on a lot of bad things, and I look at the positive of everything. And I think, with Eddie coming in, Eddie's mantra has been, guys, it's fun. We work in college athletics. Like, this is great. Do we have the money of LSU? No, we don't. But you know what? We have great student athletes. We have great fans. We have great facilities. This is a great job. This is a great place to work. It's a great town to live in. And to try and look at the positives of everything. That's one of the things when, and it's a really long answer, I'm sorry, but when we have ESPN come in, so we'll have these TV crews come in, and they will, I'll send them to the Balloon Museum because they always have to get those bumper shots.
Sure.
And so I'll send them up to the tram, or one time I sent them to Hatch, and they went down and they were like they get the Chili's, the whole thing. And it was, and those guys, those crews, when they come in, are always like, man, you guys have the best restaurants here, and you guys have the best fans, and you guys have the best airport, and everything is, and they always talk about how great the people are. They meet people on the street, and they meet people in restaurants and everywhere, and everybody talks great about it. The problem is, and this is what I've seen, a lot of times Albuquerqueans don't talk great about it, and we need to talk great about our city. I think New Mexicans need to talk great about New Mexico because there's so many unbelievably good things. My wife and I, when we take vacations, almost always we call it a New Mexico true vacation, and we've gone to the Four Corners, and we've gone to, we went to the Aztec ruins, and we did Carlsbad Caverns. We just go all over the state and spend it because this state is unbelievably cool. Long answer. What was your question?
So let's go back a little bit.
Sure.
So you have.
You sounded like Dr. Phil for a second.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's go back a little bit. Let's work on healing. So during everything that went down, I mean, your position. The media guys come, they give you messages, they say we want to talk to this guy, we want an answer for this. I'm going to send.
Yeah, and sometimes
what is it, FIOs or FOIs or
IPRA is called the inspection of public. It is the inspection of public records.
There we go.
I know a lot about the inspection.
Yeah,
of public records.
I've talked to a few of these guys, and anyone can ask for that stuff, right?
Yeah. Anyone joke to public. Listen. Here's the thing. We're a public institution. We're good with it. I wasn't thrilled with some of the wild goose chases, where it's just like, we want everything from the last 10 years. Like I had a request, someone put in their IPRA for every email I've ever sent and received for like 5 years. And I was just like, I don't have time for that.
Did you feel like Hillary Clinton?
It's something like 50,000. Because I'll get emails, and Mike knows this. I send an email out 4 or 5 a day with just, hey, here's the stat, or here's this, and people go, hey, did you see this? And you go back and forth on a thread. I gotta print each one of them. I was like, you guys can pull it. Yeah. And so IT pulled them.
Yeah, are you required to fulfill something that broad, or should it be something more specific?
Usually, if it's very broad, we can say, can you narrow this down just this smidge? Can you do us a solid and narrow it down? Especially like a thing like an email. I want everybody's email for everything. Usually they have to say an email regarding this. And then once they narrow it down, then you just, it's kind of, you hit the alt search, they all come up, and then you can either print them or you can have, a lot of times I'll just have IT. Just do it. You just say IT, here's the search commands. And IT will print them all, and they'll put them in a document for you, and you look at them, and you go, yeah, that's them. And then you turn them over. And
so do you have to send like the spam too, like mail enhancement?
Well, that's what's funny. I saw a thing where it was like, you're not allowed to delete any email for a period of like 1 year, and I'm like, I don't, like the whole enlargement, I don't need all those. I get a lot of spam email. I don't need those. I will. If you want, Frank, have you ever deleted an email? Yeah, I deleted those. Those I deleted. So
okay, so off the field and courts, in those courts and all that anyway, you head up football, skiing?
Football, skiing.
Is it still around?
And women's tennis. Yeah, they're good. So let me tell you this.
Okay.
So you want to talk about like the shocker of shockers. So the program, it was April 13th, 2017, where we had the meeting with the kids, and it was sad, and people were crying. Hell, I was crying. It was sad. It was really tough. That was one of the tougher days I've had. To go from that to the Alpine team, we're still very short on Nordic kids because a lot of them aren't here yet. They're coming in now. And the season's already started, but they can come in because the season starts before the semester starts. But our Alpine kids were already here. To run 8 Alpine races, and the Lobos won 3 of them, we hadn't won 3 races in the last 3 years. And so for them to have this program taken out from under them, given back to them, and what you want at that point, along with the community support and everything, is for the kids to realize, whoa, you know what? We can't take this for granted. We have to give it everything we've got. We've had 2 individual winners and 3 team winners. It's amazing. This is like, and when you talk about the great things about Albuquerque, the great things about UNM, this is it. We have a women's ski program that had a 3.97 GPA or something stupid like that. It's like, which slacker got the A-, right? I mean, that's, right? They get an A-, and they're like, oh, I did terrible. I got an A-. For them to do what they're doing, I've been trying to push this out locally, but really I need to be pushing this out nationally, because this is a shocking development that this ski team is. Now, I don't think they're national champ. Like, I don't think they can win a national title because we don't have the Nordic kids yet. Now, maybe these new kids come in are good and we can get the points that you need, but certainly we can have a national titleist, an individual or an event title out of this group, and that would be as shocking a development as I could ever imagine with that team. But yeah, I have skiing, and then women's tennis is my other sport.
Do you have eligibility?
No, I do not.
I would love to see.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Speaking of skiing, when it was announced that the ski team was being reinstated, not going away, if I remember correctly, long term they were going to have to come up with financing.
Yeah.
How do you know how that's going? Can you talk about that at all?
I don't know the exact things on it. I think it's going okay. I believe they're here for at least 2 more years. So I think the funding's there for that. And then, that was under Paul, and now we've got Eddie in here. So I don't know where the whole thing is at. But I know they're here for 2 more years. Where originally it was the ski team's back, but you can't bring any new kids in. You can't do stuff. We've got new kids coming in. We've got some on the team now. We've got, I think it's 4 more Nordic kids are coming in this week, or in this week. So they've got to get acclimated to school before they can start competing. Because the team's already out, they're here, so they'll catch up together, and then they'll compete in the UNM meet here in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Frank, how tough was the football season this year? In your position and being around it and not winning.
It was tough in the grand scheme of things because you had 9 wins the year before, and it was, hey, I called up Paul Meyerberg, and I kind of Brian Despain and I kind of put together a 1 sheet, and we really kind of target marketed some national media people and guys like Greenstein at the Chicago Tribune and Paul Meyerberg at USA Today. They were all for it. They were jumping on board, and it's so as far as this year compared to last year, yeah, it was tougher, but I mean, it's always fun. I'm working at college football. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Right.
It sucks to lose. Losing sucks. There's nothing fun. There's zero fun about losing. And you were hoping like you go to Texas A&M and you can compete better than you did, and it just didn't happen. And it's tough, but by the same token, it sets you up for the next year. And I really like where we're going with this next team. And this is never in the history of UNM football had a team had 3 home losses by a field goal or less. It's never happened. And if those 3 games turn around, UNLV, you lose by 3. New Mexico State, you lose by 2. And we had another one where we lost by 1 or 2. Colorado State, we lose by 3.
Yeah.
If those 3 games are flipped, you're 6-6, you're in a bowl game, and no one's talking about, it was a tough season. It's, oh my gosh, you went to 3 straight bowl games. It's never happened in the history of the university. So, the goal is to get back there. I think Coach Davies got a great plan, and he's got new coaches coming in, which we can't talk about, by the way.
Even though
you teased.
it was in the journal. There was some stuff in the journal.
But I'm the official guy. I can't officially say anything.
What's that? What's the tweet or what's the website? There's what is it?
Football Scoop?
Yeah, that's it.
Football Scoop?
Yeah.
So I can't say anything, but if you read things in the journal, or if you read things in Football Scoop.
Well, hold on, because Football Scoop had an OC listed a couple weeks ago that.
No, they were wrong on that. That was incorrect. But if you read the journal yesterday or today, I guess
that was
today's
a
journal.
Yeah, it was today's.
Yeah. I'm not going to let Rick write something stupid. If Rick Wright, usually the way, and so it's funny. So these things will happen where, there's hoops we have to go through before we can officially announce things, but sometimes you have coaches here and the media get it, and they don't have to wait, so they go ahead and do it. A lot of times, like they'll call me, and they'll say, "Hey, can you confirm that this person is on staff now?" And usually I go, I can't. I'm not allowed to say anything.
Right.
But I usually will turn around and go, but I would never make you look stupid. I've said this to Van Tate and to JP countless times. I'll never make you guys look foolish.
I'm trying to think if you ever made me look foolish.
I was going to say, you've actually said the opposite to me. I'm going to make you look foolish.
I don't have to do anything like that.
Fair point.
I just have to say, turn on you public.
I do want to ask you one thing, because you said you've been in this business 26 years now.
This is my 26th year.
So you were here really before the advent of...
I do. I look pretty good, right?
Yeah, you're holding up. You're holding up. I'll ask your wife. She's gonna
she will tell you
that you're holding up.
That I'm holding up,
okay.
And she better tell you I look good.
Okay.
Those pictures though that pop up on Twitter from time to time from the backside, that they get the thinning back there though.
No, it's really depressing. So my middle daughter, my youngest daughter turns 22 today. Happy birthday, Angela.
Happy birthday.
When I call her on the phone, you can set up like the picture comes up.
Right.
It is a picture of my bald spot. That is what comes up. I used to do the spray.
Oh, did you?
I had the powder.
No.
Yeah. So this is how vain you can be. So this is a great Paul Krebs story. So when I was doing basketball, I watched a game and I saw the back of my head during a game, and I'm like, I'm on national TV. Like, I'm on ESPN. There's 15,000 people in the arena. I can't have them all staring at this bald head. This can't work. So my oldest daughter, is a cosmetologist. So she's like, here, Dad, use this. And it's a powder. It's a follicle powder. And you take it and you just kind of dab it on your bald spot. And it's like, it's gone. I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. The problem is you can't wear it and not wear it and wear it and not wear it. So I wore that every day for 4 years at UNM. And nobody knew, right? So I have it, I cover my bald spots great. So when I give up basketball and I move over to football,
right? Now
I'm in a press box. No one's gonna see the back of my head. So I was like, you know what? I don't need to do this rigmarole anymore. So I stopped wearing it. So I'm walking down the hall and Paul Krebs comes by. I walk past him and he looks at me, he puts his hand on me and he goes, so how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm great. He's like, are you stressed? And I'm like, no. He goes, you like the move? You're okay with the switch? I said, yeah. He goes, how's your family? Is your family good with it? I'm like, yeah, Paul, what are you getting at? He goes, well, I don't want to alarm you, but I just figured you were really stressed in the last 3 weeks. You've lost an awful lot of hair in the back of your head. And I was like, oh, I stopped using the powder. And then I had to explain the whole thing. And he just looks at me and goes, you're putting powder? I'm like, yeah. He's like, is that like the spray? I'm like, yeah, it's exactly like the spray. It's exactly what it is. So
now the question everybody who's watching is wondering, did you use public money to buy the powder?
Even better, I didn't use public money. I didn't use Frank's money because my daughter's a cosmetologist.
Nice.
I got it for free.
Very cool.
Booyah.
Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Frank Mercogliano. And I don't know if he deleted, well, I guess it was from your daughter, so you didn't have to delete that spam. We'll be back right after this.
Floater and one. Hollis to Duhan, that's a steal. Here comes Esquivel in transition. Duhan is going to commit the foul and one. Lost the handle. All the way, the sophomore goes up and in. Transition, 2-on-1 to Duhan. He's going to flush it. No. He'll lay it off the window. Chance at a three-point play. Right elbow. Defender went by. Beautiful blow-by move there.
Zuni stay in the game.
Look.
To the ball to help out McMorgan.
No, foul will be called.
Boys.
Going to the line again with broken glasses is Morgan. Throws coming up. And
boy, take those things off, and I'm going to be hit all nets. And, he's going to sit down with this.
He might sit down while wearing her glasses. Bounce pass underneath, shot goes up, won't go, the follow, yes!
Wow. Side kick, beautiful bounce, with the hammer home. Spencer, but Tony first to ground, he wanted it more. Look out, here comes Duhan with a two-handed flush. Grown man's move in transition, Steve.
Garden Shorts Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school letter jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all, or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Welcome back to Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. Frank, real quick before I switch gears on you, I did want to ask you one more thing about football. In your position, I mean, do you do like a little bit of like psychology with the guys, little therapy? I mean, has there ever come a point where players come and you can see they're kind of bummed? And
You know, I get close to a lot of them just because I'm with them every day, and I'm not a coach. I don't direct. They can tell me whatever. I'm not going to make them do a lap or something like that. I get close to like Lamar, guys like that. I can talk to them, and I usually try and keep them positive and pump them up. And I get close with the kickers a lot because it's practice, and I usually can't talk to guys that are actually practicing. The kickers tend to just kind of wander the sidelines and amble about like lost sheep, and so I get to talk to them a lot more. I talk to a lot of the walk-ons because a lot of times the walk-ons are on the scout team where they're kind of doing the chains and things like that at times, and so you just try and keep those guys positive. You try and listen to them if they've got any gripes, and you just kind of okay. I refer to myself, being an Italian from New York, I refer to myself a lot of times as the consigliere. If you ever watch The Sopranos, I feel like the Steven Van Zandt character. Nice. I get told a lot of things from a lot of people, and I just kind of keep it. And it's just, if that's what you need, I'm here for that.
Nice.
So.
Interesting, because Steven Van Zandt wore a hairpiece in Sopranos.
Yes, he did. This is unbelievable. This is not hard to believe that this is the real stuff. I used to have a huge head of hair. I had long hair.
Really?
When I played college soccer, I had long.
Did you have a man bun?
No, I did not do the man. That I never understood.
You draw the line.
I gave Hugh a lot of grief.
So
for the man
I didn't really get a chance to ask you this, but I really wanted to. In your 26 years, I mean, SID, with the advent now of social media, things have changed a little bit, right? Than when you first started. Yeah,
a little.
A little bit.
When I first started, it was actually when you do stats, you would call the person and just recite them over the phone, because I worked at the conference office too, and when we get a fax machine, that was like the coolest thing ever. And we had it was the thermal paper, so the fax would come out, and then you'd have to put the 4 things so that the sheet of paper would stay flat. But the social media is, every advent makes your job easier, but it makes your job harder. And so it makes my job easier because if I need to disseminate information, boy, social media is a great way to get it out there. Our main Lobo account has 70 something thousand followers. If I need to get, hey, the parking lot is full, boom, we can get that out really fast. The bad part is people can get messages to us really fast, and they're not always the nicest of messages. And like some things that people say to people on social media, I cringe at it. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Where's your parents? Where's your kid? Like, you're a father of 3 kids, and you're saying this to a college athlete who's not getting paid and is just on a scholarship. Some of those things are amazing when I see them. But I think for the most part, those things are very helpful, and they're really good. And when they're used the right way, they do everything that you want it to do. They get our story out. They get our athletes, they spotlight our student athletes, they spotlight the coaches, and they spotlight what's great about the school.
I know that Steve Alford, when he was here, had that. I guess it was like a year or 2 where they weren't allowed.
It was every year.
Was it every year the entire time?
They were allowed to have Facebook. They weren't allowed to have Twitter.
And then obviously Davey allows all the guys. I think all the coaches now. I don't think there's any other coaches, are there?
When Coach Davey you got to remember, Coach Davey was out of coaching for 10 years. And when he first got here, he was very, I don't want to say regimented, maybe regimented is the right word. And I wasn't working with him at that point, but I remember we had white helmets. We never wore, but we did have a set of white helmets. And we took those white helmets and we weren't wearing them. We got them painted silver because we wear silver, we wear red at home, we wear white on the road, and then we wear the silver pants at home. And this is what we did. We had one uniform, and that was it. And I think he's really gotten in tune with the student athletes who like the different uniforms and like the different helmets. And, we have music at practice. We didn't have music before. We've got music pumping at practice, and the guys love it. And, he always talks about getting them the juice. want him juiced up to get going, and he thinks the music pumps him up. And so I give him a lot of credit because he really listens to the players. A lot of places have that, like that leadership council, and it's just like a thing for show. He meets with that leadership council a lot to go over things, go over what we're wearing, go over how we're running practices, how we're running meetings. He listens to them a lot. I give him a ton of credit for that because I don't think a lot of coaches do that.
You mentioned basketball. We'll run some highlights. A game, Dana, our cameraman, got us some highlights of I think it's the Lobos versus Wyoming.
He cut his hair. I didn't even recognize him.
I know, right?
He looks 20 years
I think because we were threatening to put him in the man bun as well. Anyway, talk a little bit about the basketball team. I know do you work with the basketball team? I know you're not the SID anymore.
I'm at a lot of the home games, working with TV, helping the TV crew with stats and just stories and things like that for the in-game stories. They're a fun team to watch. They move the ball, especially now. They're kind of down to these 8 guys right now, but you've got a dynamic freshman in McWatch, Malwatch, who you just saw hit a shot. This is a team that doesn't have a lot of returners right now that played last year. Firstinger didn't play a ton. Anthony Mathis couldn't get off the bench last year, and he's played a ton of minutes. His defense has got to improve a little bit, but I mean, he's just been sitting on the bench for 2 years. So for him to, of all the guys, I'm really happy for him because he's showing that he is a Division I basketball player and a good one. He's our leading scorer in conference play right now. So I really have fun watching him. And then, you can see the kind of guys that Paul wants to bring in, even a stopgap guy like an Anso Jackson who, he just hit that step back 3 there. He's a guy that can run the type of offense he wants to run. We have great players on the bench. Vance Jackson's unbelievable. Jaquan Lyle's unbelievable. We've got good players on the bench. We've got good players coming that he's already signed. He's doing everything our fans have asked. They love the Steve Alford era. He is very much an Alford type coach in his cerebral nature, in the way he approaches the game, the way he talks to the media. I think you guys have seen that. So he's very much like that in that regard. He's just got to get some guys in here and really implement his system, which is totally different from what has been done before. And he could make the change and say, we're just going to play defense and just slow the game down, but that he really wants to establish what he's trying to do. What I really think is interesting is I saw, he had his press conference the other day, and I think it was Lee Faria was asking about the zone defense. And he's like, well, why don't you just go zone? You should just go zone. I've seen people ask that. People have called into the radio stations. They should just go zone. And I loved his answer of, we're not going to do something that's not us. And that to me is giving up, and we're learning man-to-man defense, and we're getting better, and I want to stay with it. And if you look at how they rebound, at the beginning of the year with men's basketball, they were getting just destroyed on the glass, right? The first New Mexico State game was what, -25 in rebounding? It was unbelievable. They've learned how to rebound out of what they're doing, and so you can see the progress. If they were to go and become a zone team and now just playing zone, you've got to reteach this team how to rebound out of zone, and for a little while they're going to get crushed rebounding the basketball. So I think he's 100% right. I love the way he approaches things. It's funny to hear some of the announcers and people who know him, because they're like, boy, he takes losses so hard. And he does. He just, like, a loss, when they lose a game, it crushes his soul. And you talk about a guy who, I've lost hair. He is going to lose that hair because it just kills him. And I love it because that's the kind of passion you need. And he's trying to instill that in the players, where it needs to kill you when you need to be bothered when you lose. You do. If you're going to be a great winner, you've got to know how to lose, but you got to know how to take a loss, internalize it, but let it piss you off a little bit. And let it motivate you for the next one. And that's what he does. They're starting to figure that out. And I think football had that for a while. They didn't have it this year, and that was the one thing. I think that's the thing that Dakota Cox brought to that team. And Nick Diavanzo, that's what it brought to them. Those guys, and not that the current team liked losing, but those guys, it pissed them off. And I think some of these guys that they're bringing them in from winning programs, because losing pisses you off. And when that happens, usually good things happen.
Awesome. So social media, real quick.
Am I allowed to say pissing off?
Yeah,
Do
of course
I
you can. Sure. You can say it twice. But
I don't want the
after that,
I don't want the FCC to come after me.
After that, you could be in trouble. I don't know.
Public access.
I do have to ask you. I want to ask you this before we let you go, because I want everyone to kind of look at your Twitter site, because now that you've done the show again, you might have to report, on leaving or retiring. Where would they find you on social media?
I use my last name to mess up with people because most people can't spell it.
Yeah, we had a problem spelling it earlier.
It's FM Mercogliano. FMMERCOGLIANO.
And they can Google you too.
You can. I am Googleable. You can Google me.
Yeah. And you can see Frank pretty much on Go Lobos.
I'm on Go Lobos. Obviously, I have my own Twitter account. I'm behind the scenes on a lot of the UNM Twitter accounts. The best thing is to follow our teams and support the teams, support the programs. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. If you're a fan of skiing, if you're a fan of soccer, if you're a fan of baseball, go to the football games and go to the basketball games. It's one big pot. Everyone thinks, well, if you go to the football games, football gets all the money. Or if you go to basketball gets all the money. No, you go to those games, the money goes in a big pot, and it gets distributed to all the sports. And so if you're a skiing fan, tennis fan, baseball, volleyball, beach volleyball, golf, whatever, support men's basketball, support women's basketball, support football. That's what helps fund the program for all 22 of our sports. So we have 22 great sports right now.
Awesome. He's Frank Mercogliano. Like I said, you can catch him there on Twitter, and probably you can catch him all anytime here as well if he ever wants to come back.
Apparently I'm getting fired and going to be a free agent.
Well, that's a possibility too.
Which means you'll catch me on YouPublic Thursdays at 11.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with Micah Frankel and CageMinds.com. Thanks, Frank, and we'll see you all in a little bit.
Ladera Golf Course. Opened in 1980, Ladera features a full 18 including spacious greens, a large driving range, roomy practice putting greens, and 4 large lakes. Surrounding Ladera, beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains to the east and volcanoes to the west. Ladera is a challenging city-owned course with the longest playing yardage of any other city courses. For weekend tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape. To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts, like brakes and batteries. I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service. And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time. Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
Christy May's Restaurant is locally owned and operated with a family-friendly atmosphere. Their array of homemade comfort food is just like your mom's. From homemade chicken pot pie to their famous chicken salad on a croissant, Christy May's even offers lunch catering. Christy May's Restaurant is located at 1400 San Pedro Drive, Northeast. They offer drive-in, carry-out, and catering. Open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart. Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, the quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Locally owned and operated, located in Las Lunas, right off I-25, exit 203.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
I'm Micah Frankel. This is Cage Minds. Welcome to the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. I told you last weekend that we were having 3 events come up. You can find the results for Invicta FC 27, LFA 30, UFC Fight Night 124, all up at CageMinds.com. Have some highlights though for you guys. We have highlights from the main event of LFA 30, an early candidate for Knockout of the Year. Welterweight main event, Nick Barnes versus Curtis Millender. Millender flicks out the right hand as a distraction, and Barnes slips off to his left to miss it, went too far to the left and did not cover up, eating that kick. You'll see it. The punch makes his head move, and the kick finishes off where the head is. Early candidate for Knockout of the Year from Access TV, Millender almost landed the same head kick against Matthew Franco his last fight. Millender, with that win, I think almost assuredly becomes the #1 contender and should be next to challenge James Nakashima for the LFA welterweight title. Now we also have another highlights roll for you guys, a highlight from the main event of UFC Fight Night 124 from St. Louis, Doho Choi and Jeremy Stevens. Stevens, when he became aggressive, he became effective. When he was able to find his overhand right was when he was able to cause damage, like right there, knocking Choi off the center line. And then right there with the big overhand right knockdown. The elbow, the right hand to get into the guard, and vicious left elbows. Ref jumps in, a huge win for the #9 ranked Jeremy Stevens, capping off UFC Fight Night from St. Louis. Again, you can check out those results up at CageMinds.com. So we had 3 MMA events last weekend, and we got another 3 MMA events coming up this weekend. You have LFA 31 in Phoenix on Friday night. Our guest last week, I showed you part of his interview. Roman Alcantar will be taking on Matthew Franco at the event, with the main event seeing Arizona's own Bobby Moffett against Taekwondo specialist Thon Lee, with the winner earning the LFA interim featherweight title. Saturday is a big night of MMA, 2 events. The Paramount Network debuts taking over for Spike TV, and they do so with Bellator 192. You'll have the kickoff to the 2018 Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix with Rampage versus Chael Sonnen, and the main event, the best title fight that Bellator has ever put together. The Phenom Douglas Lima defends his welterweight title against Rory Red King McDonald. Lima, 29-6, a 3-fight win streak, 11 wins by submission, 13 by knockout, an 83% finishing rate. He is the #12 ranked welterweight in the world by Tapology. McDonald, the challenger, comes in actually as the #7 ranked welterweight in the world by Tapology. A 19-4 record, 7 knockouts, 7 submissions, a 74% finishing rate. The best title fight that Bellator has ever put together. If you have an opportunity, set up 2 TVs like I'm going to, because you also have UFC 220, and I mean that is a stat card. How many times have you seen the light heavyweight and heavyweight titles both on the line? Francis Ngannou challenging Stipe Miocic. Miocic, the champion, is 17-2, a 5-fight win streak, 9 first-round finishes in his career, a 82% finishing rate. Well, Ngannou, the challenger, 11-2, a 10-fight winning streak, 6-0 in the UFC. All 11 of his victories have come by finish. 7 knockouts, 4 submissions. That's the main event of UFC 220 in Boston. Don't forget the co-main event, Daniel Cormier defending the light heavyweight title against Volkan Ozdemir. Cormier has 6 knockouts, 6 submissions, has a 64% finishing rate. The 38-year-old, though, is he mentally ready to get back in the cage? The last time we saw him, even though it's a no contest, he did get knocked out by John Jones. He's going to be taking on Switzerland's top fighter, Volkan Ozdemir, who is 15-1, 11 wins by knockout, an 80% finishing rate, and 12 finishes all in the first round. The guy does not waste time. 100% takedown defense so far in the UFC, but in 3 wins, he's only had 16 minutes of cage time. A big mountain to climb for the Swedish fighter if he will be able to take out DC. So UFC 220 and Bellator 192 on Saturday night, 2 big events going up against each other. I'm planning to set up 2 TVs. And then also for this week, want to leave you guys with, check out a little bit of my interview with UFC women's flyweight champion Nico Montano. And you were kind of nervous, right?
Definitely.
So let's get started there. What was the tough experience itself like?
It wasn't as tough as a lot of people thought it was going to be, honestly. I went there thinking, I got to keep my head down, mind my own business, stay focused. I figured it was going to be super duper hard because there was going to be just cameras around and all of these instigators to try and just create drama. We didn't have our phones, we didn't have any music. We watched a couple of fights with Invicta in UFC. But other than that, it was just us girls in front of a camera crew. So, they were trying to get, the camera crew and the production team, they were great, but they obviously wanted some reality TV kind of work. But for the most part, all the girls just kept to themselves and kept to their training and kind of just took the experience for what it was to them. I definitely took it as an eye-opener in what my capabilities were. I could hang in there with the toughest girls, and it was a great experience for me.
What was that like mentally, just even those first couple fights with Lauren and Ariel, and realizing right away where your skills are at and having tough tests?
Right, so I had to fight Lauren first, and I was like, oh gosh. I can either look at it, 2 ways. I'm going to get pounded by a vet, or I could beat a vet. So I went in there, and I just did what I was comfortable doing. With the team that I had, the blue team, and the coaches that I had with Gaethje, Matt, and Luke, and everybody, they really helped with the intellectual side, I suppose, of aspects and outcomings. So it was just simple as that. You're either going to look at it this way or that way. You're going to have a good time or a bad time. Go into it with the mindset that you feel comfortable and confident in. And I did, and I was going to accept the outcome for what it was going to be, and I won, and I was like, woo. So after that fight, I was like, okay, I can hang in here, I can do this, I can actually win, and that was my goal.
Now, post the show, start getting on Tough Talk, and we're seeing you everywhere. What was that like, taking on now this other side of the fight business? The fame side really started rearing its head in there.
It's this is the part that's overwhelming, because I feel like once you get in front of a crowd, there's a lot of people, for sure, including myself, if I'm not prepared for a fight, who will go in front of a crowd, a live audience, and be like, and freeze up, and have the jitters and not perform like they wanted to. I feel like that's how I am with talking to cameras still, even though I lived 6 weeks in front of a camera doing interviews and everything, and a lot of the questions that the production team was asking us is still the same questions I'm getting asked daily on these interviews, but I still don't have a distinct answer or anything. But it's a lot of fun. I get to learn a lot about myself and a lot of what my motivators are, and learn, how dedicated I am. I'm not talking myself up, but I definitely get to learn a lot about why I am the champion. What it takes to keep being the champ. The more vocally I talk about it, it just brings it more to light to me.
There were these times you're the underdog. You're just this gritty girl. When you watch the season unfold, what were your thoughts watching the story that they were telling?
You know, I was ranked number 14. To me, it doesn't matter. You're either going to win or going to lose. And that's just the name of the game. You know, you can either look at it like that, or you can look at it as you're going to succeed, or you have a chance to try again. It's never technically win or lose for me. But watching the episodes when they came out, and then seeing how everybody was portraying me and saying I was just like this tough girl. You know, I've only had a few pro fights compared to a lot of the girls that were in there. And I've only fought twice at 125. And so, you know, watching the show and everyone talking about my lack of technicality, and then just my grit and my toughness, my strength, you know, I'll take whatever they say. And, you know, as long as I stay strong, I suppose, mentally and physically, I can go wherever I want to be.
Go to cageminds.com to hear the whole interview, the whole half-hour interview with Nico Montano. Also, while you're there, don't forget to check out the interview with Roman Alcantara before he's in action at this Friday's LFA 31. Also, check out the new Cage Minds podcast, episode 109. That's up with guests Henry Corrales and Joey Davis, who are both in action at Saturday's Bellator 192. Be more Red Menace TV, more Leroy and Michael in just a moment.
Locally loved restaurants like Farina Pizzeria, Farina Alto, and the Artichoke Cafe are the perfect venue for your next event. Farina Alto has traditional Italian food plus handcrafted cocktails in a beautiful Northeast Heights location. Farina Pizzeria with a downtown vibe, amazing affordable wines, and local beer. And the Artichoke Cafe has set the standard for casual fine dining since 1989. Visit our family of restaurants and see what fine dining is all about.
Ladera Golf Course. Opened in 1980, Ladera features a full 18 including spacious greens, a large driving range, roomy practice putting greens, and 4 large lakes. Surrounding Ladera, beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains to the east and volcanoes to the west. Ladera is a challenging city-owned course with the longest playing yardage of any other city courses. For weekend tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of Proview Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and
Carmody Medical provides solutions for your everyday needs. Hot and cold compression wraps provide therapeutic compression for the shoulder, hip, and knee. The therapy wraps are constructed of an insulated outer fabric and a ventilated cotton pocket to protect the body. Elastic belts allow mobility and deliver a gentle, adjustable compression. The reusable therapy packs can be removed from the pouch and placed into the freezer. Contact Jim for more information.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Hey, welcome back to Red Menace TV. Sans Frank Mercogliano. But it is real Michael Carlisle.
It's real Mike Carlisle.
I'm sorry, Mike.
If you're going to do it, if you're going to make fun, at least do it right.
I'm not making fun. I'm trying to get your Twitter handle out there.
Well, you should
I
put the right handle out
apologize.
there.
I thought it was, I refer to you as Michael Carlisle, so I didn't know it was real Mike Carlisle. I would never make fun of you, Mike. I would never make fun of you.
You know, you've probably already got Frank outside waiting for you. He and I could just team up and beat the crap out of you.
Really? Okay. Well, it wouldn't be the first time I've had people wait for me outside of
You
an
better get on the phone
establishment.
and call your boy Rusty the sports fan.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to Rusty. Rusty seems to be MIA. I don't know if, they kidnapped him. I don't know if he's hanging out in the sewers with it or what's going on. I'm not sure exactly what happened with the guy, but I guess we could go political. He might be in an S-hole with it. Should we go there? I have no idea. Hey, speaking of going political, so I guess they're going to go ahead and the NFL playoffs are going on for the new Bill Belichick trophy.
Yes.
I guess we could call it the Tom Brady tournament. I mean, what are your thoughts on the NFL football playoffs thus far? I mean, anything shocking to you?
Yes. Look at the 4 quarterbacks left in the 2 championship games. Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Case Keenum. Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Gee. One
of these, not like the other 3.
I mean, it is shocking. I mean, if you really think about it. I mean, I think the most obviously the most shocking play was that the Saints ended up losing. But I was not shocked by the Jaguars. I was shocked by the amount of points they put up.
Right up until about the last 3 minutes, I kept thinking somehow the Steelers were going to win because they kept scoring and getting it close and cutting. I'm like, they're going to get a stop here or force a turnover, and they're going to come up with a way to win. They didn't.
Well, I mean,
also, by the way, some of the worst play calling ever.
Right.
So it's 4th and inches. Hey, let's pitch the ball 7 yards behind the line and try to get the first down.
But
how about give the ball to Le'Veon Bell?
Wasn't there like a 4th and inches before where Roethlisberger just had to stretch out and just get the first down, and he didn't stretch out. And then, of course, the onside kick, which was like horrible. I mean, he almost kicked that backwards. I mean, that thing traveled 10 yards. It didn't travel 10 feet, I don't think. I mean, it was terrible. But once again, I mean, you're like, there is no point where you say Blake Bortles is going to be clutch here.
I don't think those words have ever been uttered together.
I mean, speaking of clutch, what a play by the Vikings. Well, once again, I mean, so what do you say? Is it a great play by the Vikings or just a whiff by Williams?
It's both. It's a great play by the Vikings because he makes the catch. All right, if Williams is there, maybe Diggs gets out of bounds, and at that point you either try Hail Mary or about a 51, 52-yard field goal. They probably try the field goal there. Williams, and I'm sure they talked about it in the huddle, doesn't matter if they catch the ball, keep them in bounds. Keep them in bounds. And you could tell that that's how the defense was set up, to keep them in bounds, just by the way they were positioned. Williams, if he had it to do over again, he would be like, you know what, I'm just going to stop, let him catch it, and then I'm just going to wrap him up and try to bring him down. We keep him in bounds, the game's over. I think instinct kicks in, and you're like, all right, I'm going to make the hit. To me, it looked like as he's going there, he pulls up. Maybe he's afraid he's a little early, don't want to risk a pass interference play, which would stop the clock and allow you to attempt the field goal. So he just kind of pulls up. Poor guy, when he pulls up, he dives, and he takes out one of his teammates.
Exactly.
So Stephon Diggs catches the ball. His first instinct, I'm sure, has got to get out of bounds, puts his hand down to get up, and he looks, and he's like, whoa, there's nobody here. So he starts to take a few steps. He turns around. And he's like, all right. I'm scoring.
I think, and I'm not a football coach. I've watched football my whole life. And you always hear, wrap them up. Don't just throw the shoulder out there. And that's really what William, I mean, he just tried to submarine the play, didn't throw his hands out, nothing like that. I mean,
he tried to avoid contact. Again, let him catch the ball. Doesn't matter. You just keep him in bounds and the game's over because Minnesota's out of timeouts.
Exactly. So winner, who gets to go lose to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl?
I like the Eagles at home. I really do.
I don't know. I really don't know because I don't even think the Vikings were even going to be here this close. And now that I look at it, I think they're going to win and
you know what, though?
lose their fifth
the Vikings have been good all year. Case Keenum has started the majority of the games. After Bradford went out early, so it's not like a fluke thing. And like with the Eagles, where Foles took over late after Wentz goes out. I just think the Eagles, even without Wentz, they have a really good defense. They have enough weapons on offense. You don't have to depend on Foles to win or lose the game. He just needs to not make mistakes. I like the Eagles.
Awesome. One of the guys we do depend on is real Mike Carlisle. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
All right. Hey, we'll see you next week to start crowning Tom Brady once again for that Bill Belichick trophy. Until next week, God bless you.
We depend on Alden?